Okay, let's roll into our post-qualifying for Saturday night's 54th Annual Bank of America 500 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Our third quickest qualifier will be Greg Biffle, and he drove the number 16 3M Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. And Greg, you had a great time, went out there late, was sitting on the pole there for a little while. Just talk about how the track conditions were and how your car executed out there tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't on the pole as long as I wanted to be. I was on there for about 2 cars or so. But I'll tell you what, I was surprised, very surprised the track didn't have more grip than it did, watching all those guys go. And so I was, using the Kevin Harvick mentality of don't try for more than what the track's giving everybody right now. And so that was my mindset going in. And when I left, coming across turn 3 and 4, the car had so much grip. I barely even came out of the gas. I about went flat across 3 and 4 coming to the green. And I thought, this racetrack has got a ton of grip. And so I got all I could in turn 1 and 2, similar like what Kevin said. And it had so much grip down there that it kind of sucked me into 3 and 4, thinking that it was going to be as good as 1 and 2. And I drove it down in there, and it went straight to the bottom. And I'm like, oh, I got this. And I went to the gas, and it started, slipping the nose up the racetrack, and actually came out of the gas pretty far. Was touched, believe it or not, touched the brake pedal and back in the gas because I wasn't sure what. It felt like it was going straight ahead there for a bit, but so it would run much faster if I had to back the corner up just a hair. But I think Jeff had the best opportunity. Watched where everybody made mistakes, and it looked like he was quite a bit behind us and going into turn 3, and looked like he was going to be about 5th, and then came out with a pole. So he got a really good 3 and 4, and I wish I would have really happy with starting up front, especially after the week we had last week. We struggled a little bit, but ended up a medium finish. But I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
Thank you, Greg. And our second quickest qualifier is Kevin Harvick. He drives the number 29 Jimmy John's Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. Last week's race winner at Kansas Speedway. Kevin, certainly had a great qualifying effort out here tonight. You're coming off of a big win. You're right in the middle of the championship hunt. Just talk about the effort that you had this afternoon and then qualifying tonight.
Well, if we wouldn't have had the pole last week, we probably wouldn't be disappointed this week. For us, qualifying has never been a strong suit of what we do. But to have a better pit selection and not have to pass half the field to start the race and keep yourself on the lead lap and worry about your car in traffic is a good sign for us. So we were able to get some race practice in before we put it into qualifying trim, and qualifying trim was really good right off the bat. So I just knew 1 and 2 was going to be our corner, and probably just gave up a little bit too much in 3 and 4, making sure that I didn't push the nose up off the corner. So that was probably the difference in the pole for us.
Okay, we'll take questions now for Kevin or Greg. If you have them, raise your hand, and we'll bring you the wireless mic. Questions right here on the front row. We can get Tom a question, then Bob, then over here to Reed.
Hi, guys. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com.
How we doing? We're trying to figure out how fast Jeff Gordon ran. What was his time?
We're just looking for his lap time.
Jeff Gordon,
I'll tell you. Hang on.
27.791.
Okay.
Thanks.
Top 5 guys separated by less than a tenth. Were you all surprised how much the track picked up at the very, very end? Because Casey Kane went out, I believe, second and was on the pole for the first 40 guys, and then it just seemed like you went out one after another and faster than each other.
I think it's like Greg said. I think everybody sat and watched and saw that guys were trying to get too much on this end, and you could take as much as you wanted to pretty much on this end. So I think there was a lot of good cars at the end of the session as well. So I think a lot of that just kept leading up to the cars going faster and faster at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I got out of the car, said the same exact thing that Casey said, word for word. Casey said, man, I probably would have run a 60, if I wouldn't have pushed up in 3 and 4. And I feel the same exact way. I mean, I just went back and watched the lap, and at the end of the backstretch, I was in the green by a mile, and then just barely beat the 5 at the start-finish line, because I was way out of the gas. So I think a lot of guys did that very same thing, and there was just good cars at the end. But I am surprised that we've seen that the track doesn't pick up speed throughout qualifying every once in a while, and it's kind of weird it does that.
Let's go to Bob. You had a question? Bob, and then over here to Reed.
Bob Parker, Sport News. For both you guys, what's it like going into this weekend compared to last weekend after qualifying? You still had all the questions still kind of about the tire, and you knew there was going to be a temperature change, and this, it seems that things would kind of be more kind of constant or more kind of stable this weekend over the next couple of days. Is there any real difference or a little bit more maybe confidence in what you did today will last through the weekend?
Well, I think for us, we have pretty much the same 4 springs in the car that we ran last week in the same car, but you have a lot less circumstances to deal with, mainly with the weather, in my opinion, because when we tested on Thursday, we fought the exact opposite problems for the rest of the weekend as we went through the colder weather. So obviously there were some unknowns with the tires, but there's going to be similar challenges with the cars, because they seem like they're going to fall off a ton. The track seems a little more abrasive, rougher than what it has in the past. So tremendous amount of fall off in the nationwide cars and the Cup cars in practice. So you're going to have to control the tightness of the car, and with the speed at the beginning of the run and making your car run through the whole run is going to be a challenge.
Go over here to the right to Reed. Go ahead.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Kevin, first pole in 7 years last week, front row this week. Is that an indication that you've suddenly found a little bit more speed in the cars, or is it greater emphasis on qualifying for the chase? And second, could you talk about turning the car around from getting it back Tuesday night and getting it ready for this evening?
Yeah, that's turning the car around couldn't have come in a worse week. We tested in Martinsville for 2 days, and so we had to split the guys up to go down to the inspection on Tuesday, and so they basically Wednesday night and basically rebuilt the whole car and put it back together. So but that everybody wants to win. I mean, we're racing in the thick of the championship, and qualifying well for us was a huge benefit last week with that first pit stall. Obviously, we wanted to be greedy and get that again tonight, but I think the cars are just better than what they have. They've been working hard because we had that pad leading into the chase to really go to work and come out with some better cars and engines and things and apply them as the chase has come on. So it's been nice to see the speed, and you always when you're in that position, it seems like everybody just digs a little deeper to make the details a little bit better on the car and the driver, and everybody just finds a little bit more when it comes chase time.
Other questions? Let's go to Stan right here in the back right there. Raise your hand, Stan, and then we'll go right up here to Mike.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. For both of you, actually, as you watched Gordon make his lap, did you have any feeling that he actually was gonna grab the pole away from you?
Well, I was in the car, or Kevin was probably still in the car, and I was looking at the monitor because they're getting ready to interview me. And he was probably, I'm going to say, at least 5th or worse getting into turn 3. And he laid down a really good 3 and 4. His car really worked. There's a lot of speed down there if you get it hooking around the white line. There's a ton of speed. And so I turned around thinking we were going to be on the front row. I didn't think he was going to beat me or Kevin, and then came back and beat both of us. So.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was obviously in the car, but that was obviously you want the pole, but it was exciting for the fans. They were having a good time.
Let's go up here to the front row, Mike.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. For both of you, especially for Greg, we very rarely see anybody spin out in qualifying anymore. But look, watching your lap, especially Greg, you were definitely on the edge. How close to losing it are you when you go out there in these qualifying laps?
Well, I was wondering why you said especially me. And talking about spinning out. Yeah, the car just hooked the bottom of the racetrack really good, and the car's got a lot of side force. I drove it down in turn 1 a long ways, and when it landed down in there, it kind of turned hooked a little bit, and it got a little sideways, and I was in the gas when it did that, and just kind of turned the wheel a little bit to the right. But the different aero package, the cars have a tremendous amount of side force, and they don't. When they get a little bit loose, they want to straighten themselves back up a little bit to a degree. They will take off, but I think that's got a lot to do with it. This different aero packages, different car.